So when I say track and sign, what do I mean by tracks and signs? What does that mean? Yeah.
Well, like look for little nest eggs of them that they were hatched.
Yeah, that's a great example of one. It could be a nest. Maybe that nest might even have eggs in it. You could identify what kind of bird built the nest. Yeah.
I've seen a vulture before.
You've seen a vulture before? What kind of evidence would a vulture leave behind?
I've seen a woodpecker.
What do we think? Yeah.
Species or feathers.
Yeah, they could leave behind where they had been eating some carrion, some dead prey, or they could leave behind their feathers. That's true. If we find feathers, we can identify what kind of feather that came from. Yeah. What else? What else could animals leave behind? Yeah.
Footprints.
Yeah, they could leave behind footprints. You might leave behind footprints in the snow or in the mud. Yeah.
Scat.
Yeah, they could leave behind scat. What is scat?
Species.
What exactly is scat? What's that?
I'm not saying.
Yep, it's animal poop. In fact, there are scientists who study animal poop, and they write whole books just on animal poop. So you can go out with these books and look at animal scat, and you can actually identify what kind of animal left that scat behind. So we might even find scat today when we're out on the trails. Yeah.
They could also leave half here. Like if there was a bird, it doesn't have one.
Oh yeah. So any kind of animal that's going to be eating its food, like maybe a robin could be eating a worm, it might leave behind half of its food. So you might find a half-eaten berry. Any? Yeah. What animal might leave marks on a tree? Yeah, a woodpecker. What else? Yeah.
Like a bear.
A bear. Yeah, bears might scratch on a tree. What else? Yeah.
Why would a bird just eat half of a berry?
That's a great question. Maybe a bird could be eating a berry, and something like a big group of kids could be walking by. And it's totally freaked out and flies away. So that could be one thing that happens. I've seen that happen before. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, kind of like a bear. A cougar could also scratch a tree and leave markings behind. Yeah.
Are we gonna be looking for this soon?
Yeah. You want to get started, huh? So, the way that we're going to play this game is I have in my hands pictures of animal tracks and signs. So each of these pictures might be something like this, which would just be some tracks. And your job is going to be to figure out what animal up on this wall left behind that track or sign. So if I'm looking at this picture right here and I say, oh, I know what animal left this behind. It was the paper wasp. I would just come up here and put it next to the paper wasp. And then if someone else is looking at another picture and they say, well, wait a second, I think this was left behind by the paper wasp. They would just come and put it right behind like that. So it's okay if there's two pictures in the same slot. Now some of these tracks and signs are pretty tough. So on the back, there's a clue to help you out.
Ooh.
So try solving it just with the picture first, and then you can use the clue. Does that make sense? You guys think you can do this? Yes. So I'm going to be coming around and dropping just a few tracks and signs off at a time. So maybe work in groups of about 2 or 3, and people can work together to think what animal up here left that track or sign. So once you got it, you can just come right up and put it up on the wall. Are you guys ready? Okay. Here we go. I'll leave that one here. Here, do you want to work maybe with this group here or that group over there? So we have a group of 3. Sure. You guys want to hard one or easy?
We're playing t-shirt.
Where did the pen go that Miss Carol gave you? Can you Why don't you ask her to see if you can borrow a pen?
She gave me a pen, and I know what it meant.
Oh, can you ask her for a different pen?
Do you want a tough one or medium? Medium?
I can't swim fast.
Yep. Okay, this is a really tough one.
Track inside the picture. Should be a bird. There's no track.
I'll tell you that it's in a nest.
I think this was the last one. Yeah,
Yes.
looks like a moss area.
Look at the park around here.
I think it's a grass.
You think you know what it is? Jason, please don't push the chair up here. Can you put it back, please?
I'm trying to get it to the last.
Oh, you're trying to get it up there? Oh, okay. You got it? There you go. Good job.
All right, let's look at our last two. So once we get our last two up, we'll figure out which ones we got in the right place and which ones we need to move around.
Jules, sit down, honey.
It could be the rat. It's a beaver. It's a beaver. Beaver have web. Where are you playing? Touch it. Where is that? Love video animals. I heard a bird.
Sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and get the last one up there, and we'll see where we're at. See if you guys can take your best guess in the next 10 seconds.
Take your best guess.
6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Good job. So now we're going to look at all of these that we have up here and see if we need to move any of these tracks and signs. So the first one I'll tell you, you got the garden spider in the right place.
Good job,
For the
Ruthie.
beaver, we actually had, looks like 3 different tracks, and you got 2 of them up here are correct. Now this one, we want to look at. This is tricky.
Jules, sit down.
So, why is this
Sit
battery?
down.
It's a really good question. Why would someone, when they're taking pictures of tracks, want to have a battery? Yeah.
Maybe like it was litter, and they wanted to also take pictures of litter to show them not litter.
It's a good idea. In this case, they actually put the battery there. And the reason they did that is because if there wasn't a battery, it there would be no way to figure out how big these tracks are. But because there's a battery there, this person put a battery down, took a picture, and then they took that battery home with them. And they can measure that battery and say, oh, well, once they get home and they have a ruler, they can find out that is maybe about 2 inches. And they can use that to figure out how big these tracks are. So that's one thing that scientists do when they're figuring out what animal left behind a track. So our clue for this one says, I live near water, rivers, lakes, and streams. Slides and snow and muddy banks show where I've been. Crayfish, turtles, frogs, and fish are what I love to eat. I can swim fast to catch my prey because of my webbed feet. I heard it. What do you guys say?
Otter.
Yeah, it's the river otter. So that one goes with the river otter, and we'll check. We've got a few for our raccoon that we want to look at. Now, saying this was in fact the raccoon tracks. So if you ever see little tracks that almost look like little hands in the mud or anywhere, those are the raccoon tracks. So we'll leave those, that one right up there, and we need to figure out these two. What animal left these behind? So we'll look at the tougher one first. What we're looking at here is where an animal slid across the ice. So this picture was taken in the winter. Can you see where the animal was sliding across the ice? See that? Yeah. And our clue says, like all rodents, I have 5 toes in front and 5 in the back. Even though I have large front teeth, I won't attack. I prefer to eat roots. Cattails are delicious. But I also eat the occasional turtle, frog, or fish. That's a rodent, but it has very large front teeth. It's not the beaver in this case. There's a rodent. What'd you say?
Muskrat.
You got it. The muskrat. So the muskrat slid across the ice.
Down.
So muskrat is a predator.
Yeah, they'll eat vegetation, but they're hungry. Now we'll look at this one. We see those big rectangular holes. This was made actually by the largest woodpecker in North America. Does anyone know which one up there is it? Yeah. Not the sapsucker. That is a kind of woodpecker though. Yeah, the pileated woodpecker. Here's one right up here. We've got this scat. I bet people have seen this kind of scat before. It says, grasses are what I like to eat, and where I love to put my webbed feet. My neck is long, and I can be very loud. I hold my head high because I'm so proud. Yeah. You got it. It's the Canada goose.
Good job, Jeb.
Now we'll look at this one right here. Now this is a very tricky one. It's actually we're looking in the hole in this branch. And our clue says, my nest is hidden in a hole in a tree. Here's where I lay my eggs so none can see. In large flocks I swoop on the wing, swallowing insects that might bite and sting. Yeah. What do you think? Not the sapsucker. It is a bird. I'm going to read one line again. Swallowing insects that might bite and sting. Yeah.
American robin.
Not the robin.
Tree swallow.
Yeah, the tree swallow.
Oh, swallow.
So we'll look at this one next. It says, my pointed hooves leave triangle tracks. Sometimes they splay out if I'm traveling fast. Look for an area of compressed grass called a leg. This is where I rest at the end of the day. Yeah.
A black-tailed deer.
You got it, Sarah. Black-tailed deer. So that one goes right there. This next one is a pine And it says, chewed up pine cones will show where I've been. When you find such a pile, call it a midden. Sometimes I'll nest in holes in dead trees. I leap and I bound with my flexible knees. What animal? Yeah, the eastern gray squirrel. Excellent job. You guys want to do a really tough one now? Okay. You're doing a really good job. This one.
It's turned the wrong way.
Oh no, this is the right way. Yeah?
What?
So what we're looking at is this thing. I think it looks like a green sock. It says, this is actually a nest. It says, my nest is hanging and woven, made of mosses, lichens, and grasses green. I travel around in a flock of my kind. Maybe this is something you've seen. We love flitting in bushes and eating berries on trees. To the occasional spider dinner, I say, yes, please. What?
Bush tit.
You got it. First try. Excellent job. That actually is a bush tit nest. So we'll look at this one next. And in this picture, this is kind of how you would see it. It would look almost dark a lot, and you would look up into the trees, and underneath the leaves you might find a nest like this. What do you think? This isn't a hummingbird nest. Yeah. This is actually the American robin nest. Has anyone ever found a robin egg before?
Yes.
What color are they?
Blue.
Yeah, they're blue. So let's see where we're at. Everything up here is looking really good. We got the paper wasp in the right place, river otter, pileated woodpecker, great horned owls in the right place. Canada goose is good, robin is good. And now we've got these three. Okay, we'll get the red-breasted sapsucker. Now I'll tell you that two of these were left by the sapsucker, and one of them was not. So we'll take a quick vote. How many people think that this one doesn't belong? How many people think this one doesn't belong? How many people think this one doesn't belong? I'll tell you that you were right. The majority has voted that this one is the one that needs to go somewhere else. So what is this? What are you looking at?
Looks like there's a bird inside.
Yeah, it's a little tiny rufous hummingbird nest. You can actually see one on the wall. You see the tiny, tiny little bird nest? Right up here. That's the little rufous hummingbird nest. Yeah, they disguise their nest very, very well. Now, someone said there was no sap. Is that what you said?
No, in the description it says something about sap.
Ah, they eat sap. They actually can eat sap. In fact, hummingbirds and sapsuckers will get in fights all the time. Because the hummingbirds, those rufous hummingbirds, come here from Central America. And if they don't come here at the right time, there's no flower there. So they have to find something else to eat. And tree sap is another thing that's really similar to flower nutrients.
Colin.
The same kind of nutrients that they need. But these sapsuckers, they go around and they work hard all year drilling these holes in trees, are very, very possessive of their trees. So when they see a hummingbird around, they come in and try to chase it off. Yeah.
After now, so somebody in here, wilted woodpecker, and my mom took a video, and then there's this huge hole in their tree, so we just went there for
That's awesome. Yeah, they're very, very loud. They're extremely loud. They're the biggest woodpecker we have. How many people have seen one of these woodpeckers before? Yeah, we see a lot of these in the forest. They're very big. Who can show me about how big this woodpecker is? Can you see it? Yeah, they can get to be about that big.
Whoa.
They're full grown. They can be very, very big woodpeckers. Other woodpeckers we have here are really tiny. There's one woodpecker that's only about this big.
Whoa.